What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And today, I have a special guest on the show to help me make sense out of nonsense. And I'm talking about dollars and cents too, okay? Not just talking about common sense, we're talking about some money, investments, and so on and so forth. So I am delighted to have someone from Noble Gold, Joshua Ward. Joshua, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Kevin. It's an honor to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, ladies and gents, make sure you let me know if everything is okay as far as the volume. Can you hear us both, so on and so forth? Then we'll make any adjustments. We're all family. Sometimes you got to make some adjustments, right in the middle of it. So y'all let me know if you can hear everything fine, and we'll keep going. But Joshua, I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you because I was reading over your bio a little bit. And it looks like it says that you been working in this industry for 15 years.
That's correct. Yeah, Kevin. I actually, my dad got me started at a young age, taught me about the value of gold and silver. It used to give me, during the holiday, I'd get gold and silver coins, and it really started me down the path that I'm at now, right? So when I went to college, I would buy scrap gold jewelry from estate sales and garage sales and take them to the refinery and refine them. And that kind of got me started. And I thought I always wanted to be a stockbroker. But I can't sell something I don't believe in, right? That I don't own personally. So
Right.
it's very easy for me in the precious metal space because I own a lot of it. So it's really easy to work with something that you own personally and that you believe in personally.
I hear you. It's way easier to sell something that you actually believe in and have a personal affection towards. I tell my audience sometimes, I joke about my days of selling the Kirby vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
And
Oh, I love that.
selling the Kirby vacuum cleaner is a hard sell. But I tell you what made it a little bit easier is I believed in that Kirby. That thing
That's right.
worked.
Yes,
So
that's
it made
correct.
it a lot better when I said, man, I personally use this and I see how well it is. And it made it a lot easier for me. And
Absolutely.
it says that also you used to own your own silver and gold.
Yeah, my brother and I, we used to own our own actual gold and silver coin shop in Colorado and in Texas. So it's a great business, right? We would help people, sell or buy physical gold and silver coins, or estates would come in, right? Somebody has a family member that passes that has gold and silver coins or bars, and they would come over to our shop to liquidate those items, right, or to get the value of them. So I've seen every side of the precious metals industry, from buying scrap gold jewelry to converting $1 million IRAs, right? So I've been every side of the gold and silver business, and I love it. It's a family business. My brother here at Noble as well. I mean, it's a great industry to be in, and we've helped a lot of people, right? I've had thousands of clients that have been buying gold since it was $1,200 an ounce, and buying silver since it was $10 an ounce, right? And today we're at just under 2,900 for gold and right around 32 for silver.
Wow. So it made it an easy transition into Noble Gold from owning your own shop.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It was, because I get to bring that expertise into this side of the precious metals industry, right? A lot of people who are buying precious metals for the first time, whether it's in their IRA or getting for home delivery, they're not really sure what to get, right? They see a special coin here or a coin there, and they think that's the one to get. But when you get down to it, right, is it the best value? Are you maximizing your money, getting the most amount of silver, most amount of gold for your money, or are you getting more of a high premium, coin that you're not going to get as many of?
Wow.
So I'm always in
And
the beginning, right? So I always like getting the most amount of ounces of gold and silver for my money. When I started,
wow.
I would buy every specialty coin, every proof coin, every sexy design, right? And when it got down to it, I realized that it's really the gold and silver content in that coin or bar that its value is derived from.
Huh. Well, of course, the company have sent me some wonderful precious gold and silver that
Yes.
I keep right here on my little shelf
Oh,
for a
fantastic. I love
rainy
that.
day. Yeah.
I love
So,
that. Yeah, you can
and it
use
looks
that
like
and,
you've had some wonderful, wonderful success with the company too. You're responsible for over $400 million in sales with gold and silver.
that's correct.
That's
Yes.
a lot of gold and silver.
That is a lot of gold and silver. And in fact, I'm actually about 10 minutes from the depository where 80% of that is held here in Dallas, Texas.
Wow. So you guys actually keep it close to the location just in case somebody want to go and take a look.
Well, I'm out here in Dallas. At one point, Noble was thinking about relocating, and it just didn't work out. So I really fell in love with Texas, with Dallas especially, and I moved out here about 4 years ago. So when the Corona hit in California, California got pretty run down, and there wasn't much to do, and it got really to be a negative space for me. So I moved to Texas shortly after the Corona started.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I just read one of the comments. Somebody is asking about Fort Knox. So we're going to be
Yes,
talking about that in a minute.
yes. I
Okay.
can only imagine what their question is, right? Is
Yes.
it really there?
Yeah, I've been looking at a couple points there, and I'm saying, oh, so we're going to have some Fort about what works there. But I do
Yes,
have a question.
please.
When it comes down to like investing, oftentimes it's about timing, when you invest and so on and so forth. So I noticed that, a lot of people right now are trying to invest in all different types of things. Some people are going, wow, let me jump on board with Bitcoin or some type of, online, coins. Some people are saying gold and silver. So why should anybody want to invest right now? What is a good time to invest? I know that the March inflation report is coming up. So my question is, should you wait, or is it a good time to invest now before that? And how much of a gamble is it
Yeah,
when it
no,
comes down to gold and silver?
and that's a great question, right? So when we're talking investing in precious metals, it is one of the safest assets that you can invest in, right? It has one of the longest track records of any other asset that you can hold in the history, right? So gold and silver date back thousands of years, and it's been used as money and currency for thousands of years. So it's not going anywhere, right? Always been able to convert any currency, fiat or not, into gold and silver at any time. I mean, here in America, from pre 1776 to about 1933, all of our $20 bills were a 1 ounce gold coin, right? So the government couldn't just print money out of thin air like they do now, or we have the Federal Reserve that just prints money, right? The government actually had to go out and find the gold, mine it, refine it, assay it, and coin it into bars before it could be let into circulation. Now it's a line item on the Federal Reserve. It's just zeros on a computer screen. So it's a huge difference in what it was originally intended for, which is really scary. If I could just write a blank check for all of my debts, that would be nice, right? Imagine how long I'd survive if that was the case for me, right? In my
Right.
place that I'm at now, or my car, right? I mean, imagine if I stopped paying those payments, or I just wrote them IOUs, how long I'd be here for. I mean, not very long. But the government does it every day, and they've been doing it for the last 50 years.
Wow. So basically, right now, there is no equivalent to the amount of gold we have versus the dollars that we have.
That's correct. Yeah, no, the dollar used to be backed by gold, right? That was the whole saying. That's why America became the powerhouse that it is, right? So from 1776 to 1933, we had one of the greatest industrial revolutions the world has ever seen, right? And we did that under a gold standard. We didn't do that under a fiat money, paper money system. We did that under a gold standard. And that's the big difference there. Right now, I mean, we have, everyone thinks, oh, the price of gold's going up. It's almost $3,000 an ounce. Well, no, gold hasn't gone up, right? The value of your dollars have gone down, right? The purchasing power of your fiat money has gone down. So when you price fiat money that the government prints on and on and on every single year, every single day, priced in gold, that price is going to go up. I mean,
Wow.
it's just simple mathematics. It's simple economics. You can't print money and be successful, right? Or Zimbabwe would be one of the richest countries in the world right now, right? I mean,
Good point.
I have a $100 trillion note, a Zimbabwe note that couldn't buy you a loaf of bread on my desk, and it's a real note, real currency that's actually being used. Couldn't buy you a loaf of bread though.
So what backs up other countries' currency then? I mean, if I
Nothing. Their government, their military. That's it.
that's it.
That's it. Take a gold coin to a bank and tell me you want to convert it into cash. They'll look at you like you have a third eye, right? They haven't done that since the 30s.
Because that was my next question. Well, first things first, what made them stop using gold as
Great
the
question.
standard, using
Yeah, great
making sure
question.
that
Well, the government printed more gold certificates than they had gold in reserves, is the long and the short of it. So we were going through war times. So we had World War I, and World War II, which really got the US off the gold standard and most other countries off the gold standard. The long and the short is we printed more gold certificates and lent out more gold certificates than we had actual gold on hand. So how they got people using paper money, we didn't just go from gold to paper money, right? We went from gold to a gold certificate that was redeemable in gold to the bearer on demand. Okay, which is huge. So the government realized that having gold coins in your pockets was not as easy as using like a paper currency, right? And people could hear it when
Right.
you're walking, and it was kind of dangerous at the time because people could hear it. So what they did was they created these certificates that you could take into any local bank and convert that for an actual gold coin or a silver certificate for an actual silver coin. And that's how they got people started using paper money and got comfortable with paper money. And then we closed the gold window where we couldn't, and that's the first time the US actually defaulted on our debt, was when we closed the gold window in 1933. It was an executive order by FDR, making it essentially illegal to own gold. And everyone at the time turned in their gold and they got paid $20.35 or $20.50. They got a little over face value for that coin. And within 1 year, the price of gold skyrocketed to $35, right? So 90 years ago, an ounce of gold was pegged at $20 an ounce. So from 1776 to 1933, an ounce of gold was $20. Didn't go up, didn't go down. It was a fixed price. And the US government let the dollar float. So instead of having it fixed at $20 an ounce, they let it float. They let it go up and down. And all the economists at the time, all the talking heads at the time said, gold's a pet rock. It's going to go to nothing as soon as the government lets the price float. And that's the exact opposite happened, right? Within 1 year, it went to $35 an ounce. And today we're looking at almost $3,000 an ounce.
Wow. So they made it illegal for people to have gold?
That's correct. They made
When,
it
when did
illegal.
they
And
reverse that? Like now it's legal for us to actually have gold. I mean,
that's correct. So 74, I believe, is the year that they made it to where we could own gold again legally. And we started, Krugerrands were real popular at that time. The US Mint didn't start remaking our gold coins until 86. So it took a while. I mean, in the 70s, you could only buy gold Krugerrands if you wanted to invest in gold. That was, or bars. That was essentially it. And now the US Mint starts, I mean, every major country, we're talking Great Britain, Austria, Australia, China, all these countries still make 1 ounce gold and silver coins. They did before 100 years ago, and they do now as tradition and for investment purposes.
so right now, what is keeping us from, we're still mining gold, correct? Gold and
That's
silver.
correct. Yeah. Well, yeah, the low hanging fruit is gone, right? So back 100 years ago, you could find gold just walking in California, but all of that's gone, right? I mean, that's all been mined, and the cost associated with mining has gone up and up and up, along with the price of gold. But yeah, all of the gold has to be mined, and it costs a lot of money to mine it, and a lot of it's not mined in America, right? That's why we're seeing this huge inflow of gold coming onto the COMEX from all these other countries, mostly in London and in Canada, all flooding the U.S. with gold before the tariffs, because gold and silver are subject to the tariffs, right? So if we're not producing any and all the gold and silver is coming from China or London, and they have all these 25, 50% tariffs, I mean, you're not going to be able to get these metals soon.
Right.
And if
So
you do,
right
they're going
about
to
now, then, fat chance of me just happen to wander around in my backyard and strike gold, huh?
be. Yeah, you know what? You're probably better off planting like a walnut tree or something,
Right. Yeah, I was hoping to get out there and start the digging. Who knows?
Yeah, no, not
So
today. I don't think so. I mean, it depends where you are, but in California, there's still some gold. And the movement is getting bigger and bigger as the price goes up, right? So a lot of these mines, when the price of gold was $1,500, $2,000, it cost them about the same to get the gold out of the ground. So there's no point in doing it, right? If it cost me 2,000 to get out of the ground, I can sell it for 2,000. I'm not going to. Why go through the trouble, right? But now with the price of gold at 3,000, a lot of those mining costs are still around 1,500, 2,000. So you're making 1,500, $1,000 on each ounce that you mine.
wow.
So then it makes a little more sense to mine it.
So gold is measured and silver. Are they both measured in ounces?
That's correct. Yeah, troy ounces, which is very important for your listeners to understand. So it's not like a ribeye or a pound of coffee where it's 16 ounces per pound, right? There is 31.1 grams per troy ounce of gold and silver. 31.1, not 28 like a dry ounce, like a ribeye. Okay. And there's 12 troy ounces per troy pound of gold. So that's important for your listeners to understand. It predates our system here in America, right? Gold and silver. So it's not the same as what we have set up in America.
So if one wanted to invest in gold and silver,
Yes.
and in their brain they're trying to kind of compare it to money. Now I know you said earlier that the money is no longer backed up by gold, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
But when you buy X amount of gold with your dollars, you're buying it in ounces, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Or grams,
Now,
right? You can buy gold comes in 1/10 of an ounce, a quarter ounce, half ounce, 1 ounce. It comes in all different shapes and sizes, but it has, the most common is 1 ounce gold and silver coins and bars. That's the
I
most
got you.
common size that people get.
So now, does the gold or silver in ounces, is it comparable to the amount of money that you buy it for? Like, can it be used like stock? Stock goes up, goes down.
Yes.
You
Yes.
invest in it, buy it low, then all of a sudden sell it and make a profit. Are
Yes.
you able to do that with gold and silver? Whereas you,
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. So it's a little different with than stock, right? So when you buy an ounce of gold, let's say you were one of my clients a couple years ago, and an ounce of gold was $2,000 an ounce, right? So they bought that ounce for $2,000, and today it's $3,000. So they could give me a call and say, "Hey, Josh, I appreciate you. We did great. I want to just take my money and run, or I want to transfer out." You can absolutely do that at any time. And in fact, I have a lot of clients right now that are really loading up on silver, and what their goal is, once we see the silver to gold ratio come back down to earth, which we can talk about in a little bit, they're going to convert some of that silver back into gold, right? And they're going to do it all in their IRA, tax and penalty free. So they're loading up on silver now, buying it under $30 an ounce. And then once we see silver hit 50, 100, $200 an ounce, they're going to liquidate their silver, convert it into gold in their IRA, tax and penalty free. So that's a
wow.
strategy that I've been doing for the last 5 years,
So
and a lot of
when
my
they
clients have.
liquidate it, I'm sorry, when they liquidate it, who pays that out? I mean, do the bank pay it out, or do you guys cash them out?
Yeah,
How
we
does
do.
that
Noble
work?
Gold does. Noble Gold does. So that's one nice thing going with Noble Gold is that you have a trusted buyer and seller of precious metals, right? So you're never going to be left on your own, which is very important because a lot of places, like I hear a lot Costco selling gold and all these Walmart selling gold. Well, try to take that gold or silver back to Costco and see what they'll pay you for it, right? They'll sell it to you, but they're not going to buy it back from you, right? And when the time comes, I mean, it's just as important buying it from somebody as having somebody to sell it to.
Wow. So you can't just say, well, look, I got a 2 ounce gold coin. I'm going to the bank and say, cash this out for me.
No, 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 no. They haven't done that for 90 years, right? It's you need to go to like a place that I owned with my brother. One of the specific gold and silver local coin shop to you, right? Or give Noble Gold a call if you're looking to convert an IRA or get some metals delivered to your home. Right?
Wow.
It's super important to have someone who you can buy from and sell it back to, right? Because you might not want to hold the gold and silver forever, right? Something might come up down the road, or you see huge price gains, and you just want to kind of take some chips off the table. You need to have someone that you work with that you trust to buy and sell to.
Now, once you acquire a client and they purchase X amount of gold or silver, um, say they're not the most tedious person when it comes down to monitoring the cost of gold and silver, how it goes up and goes down. Do you guys act almost as if you guys were a stockbroker or something to that point? Do
It's
you notify them that, hey, the ounces is up 15% or it's down or
yes.
whatever?
Well, the thing is, so in the precious metals industry, I'm not a stockbroker, right? I'm not a financial advisor. So I don't give advice based off, individuals and telling them, hey, we got to buy and sell, we got to do all this and that, right? So
Right.
what we do is I have quarterly meetings with almost all of my clients, and I send out emails to kind of touch base, see how their account's going every quarter. And they can reach out to me as often as they like. But I'm never, Noble Gold's never going to impose and call our clients and say, hey, we got to sell this to buy that, or we got to do this to do that. That's one of the nice things with gold and silver is that we set up a self-directed IRA for you. It's 100% up to you. What you buy, whether you're buying gold, silver, coins, bars, that's 100% up to the client. I don't decide that for you. So I can help kind of get a game plan together. I can tell you what I'm doing, what a lot of my clients are doing, but ultimately the decision is the clients and what they buy and what they want to hold on to or when they want to sell. It's 100% up to the client.
Huh. That's good. So right now, then let me ask you, silver or gold? What would be which
Oh,
right now? What would be the best investing?
you know what? I would be putting my money on silver, 100%.
Uh-huh.
Silver right now is trading at a 40% discount to its 1980s price. So 1979, the price of silver went up to $50. Along in 2011, the price of silver went up to $50 an ounce. And right now we're sitting at about $32. So you can still buy silver at a discount to its 1980s price. I mean, name one thing that you can buy at a discount to its 1980s price, right? I mean, nothing. Nothing. Maybe a computer or a TV or something. But that's electronics is not a great example for that. But everything else has gone up significantly. So, and I also like platinum too right now. So when I started, platinum was almost double the price of gold when I got into the gold and silver business about 15 years ago. And today you can get 3 ounces of platinum for 1 ounce of gold. It's completely switched. So a lot of my clients are buying platinum, they're buying silver. They're also buying gold as well, right? But a lot of my clients bought gold when it was 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, right? And
Yeah.
people feel like they've kind of missed the boat on gold a little bit, right? And the reality is, if you're going to wait another 6 months, it's going to be $4,000 or $5,000 an ounce, right? It's going to keep going up. I mean, we have the dollar still very strong. We have the stock market relatively strong as well. I mean, it's gone down the last week significantly across the board. It's gone down. So I think once we see the stock market really start to fall, people are looking in their IRA accounts and they're seeing. I just had someone that I spoke with. Her account's down $30,000 in 2 weeks that I spoke with earlier today. 2 weeks, and she wants out. She's like, I can't do this. This is the top. I want out. Let's get me out. And that's how quickly it can fall.
Wow. Well, what happens if it goes back up in a couple weeks?
Yeah, the market you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, if the market goes back up in a couple weeks, it's not going to affect gold and silver. Gold and silver are still going to go up, right? I mean, it's just the
Right.
market goes up and down. I mean, we,
Yeah.
we can't predict whether it's going to crash or whether it's going to go up. Look at what gold's been doing for the last 5, 10 years while the stock market has gone up, right? Historically, gold does very, very well in a declining stock market and a declining dollar environment when the dollar is worth less. And right now, up until about a month or two ago, we had the stock market an all-time high, and the U.S. dollar index went over 110 on the U.S. dollar index. And right now we're at about 104, 105. So that's a huge difference in 2 weeks. And look at the euro. The euro has been surging against the dollar. Almost every other currency has been surging against the dollar.
Hmm.
So we're finally starting to see the dollar come down. And I think we're going to see it come down rapidly and a long ways. So when I mentioned 2011, last time silver hit $50, the US dollar index was at 75. And from 2011, US dollar index went from 75 all the way up to about 110. And now it's coming back down.
Wow.
So we're going to see the real true value of gold and silver when we see the dollar really start to lose value. And I think that's imminent. I mean, you can't have a fiat money system. You can't print money and expect things to go according to plan, right? Every fiat currency that has ever existed since the beginning of time has gone to zero. Average lifespan about 60 years.
Wow. And right now, the U.S. is not even interested in replenishing our gold supply, or at least trying to balance it out again. Are we just giving up on that? We've abandoned it.
It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of it, right? So we have a fiat money system in America where money is created from the federal is created by the Federal Reserve, and then the Treasury Department borrows it. So the central banks get paid on every dollar. They get interest on every dollar that's created in this country, which is a
Wow.
shame, right?
Interesting. So
That's
you
an
also
absolute shame.
go ahead. What'd you say?
Oh, it's a shame that that's what we've come to in America, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've come to this, and it's not going to end well. If you could print money out of nowhere and have nothing backing it other than the might of your military, we've gotten away with it for the last 60 years. And
Wow.
time's running out, I think. I mean, it's you look at how much debt we're in. I mean, our biggest expense, Elon's going with Doge and they're knocking out all this stuff. That's pennies compared to what really causing the main problem, right? which is
And
the treasury payments, the social security, right? The fact that we have inflation anywhere from 2 to 10% every year, right? I mean, if you believe the government's numbers on inflation, um, then you might want to take a look at history, right? You can't. It's like letting the fat kid in charge of the cake, right? You can't take the numbers that the government puts out, and then 6 months, a year later, they completely revise the numbers. And 6 months, a year ago, the stock market went up because of those numbers, and you just hear it's this little line item in the paper that they had to revise it back down. I mean, it's all just a dog and pony show. That's why I own gold and silver, right? I don't want to get involved in the central banks. I don't want to get involved in the cabal. I just want to own physical metals that I know are going to go up in value relative to the dollar or any other currency that I want to measure it.
okay, well, before we get into Fort Knox,
Yes.
I'm gonna throw out a scenario, random hypothetical.
Okay.
So let's just say the dollar goes belly up, the grid collapses. One, someone who has gold and silver, they are able to come get that gold and silver physically from you guys if they bought it from you, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So let's go over the two ways that Noble Gold can help buy metals. Okay. So we can buy with cash after tax money that you have in your checking or savings account, and I deliver those metals to your door, fully insured via FedEx. Okay, that's the easiest way to buy metals. It's not through a retirement account or an IRA. It's buying the metals with cash for home delivery, and it takes 1 to 2 weeks for the metals to be delivered. Right, so you talk to someone here at Noble Gold, you figure out exactly what you want, we place your trade, and 1 to 2 weeks later, those metals are delivered and in your physical possession. You have them on hand. So you can use them to barter with, you can use those to trade with. If you ever want to sell them, you can ship them back to Noble and we'll send you a wire transfer in return. Okay, it's real simple. That's the easiest, quickest way to buy metals. Anybody can do it. Now, on the IRA side, it's a little bit different. You have to have an existing IRA that you want to transfer into a gold and silver IRA. So you have to have already an existing account. And then what we do is we set up a gold and silver IRA for you. We transfer that money from your stock and bond IRA over to your gold and silver IRA. And then we have that full dollar amount to buy metals with. There's no taxes taken out, there's no penalties taken out. It would be a qualified transfer or rollover. And then those metals are not shipped to your door, right? The IRS is smart. They see gold and silver as money more so than the average person. So when you buy metals in an IRA, your metals have to be stored at a depository, right? If as soon as you take physical possession of your metals in an IRA, that's a taxable event. So how we get around that is the metals are stored at a third-party depository here in Dallas, Texas, or in Newcastle, Delaware. And we actually send photos of your metals. So every one of our IRA clients get actual photos of their metals at the depository with a third party verifying that the metals are there and dated by the vault manager. And they get photos of all of their metals laid out, and they can also go and audit the account themselves. Right? I have a lot of clients here in Texas and in the surrounding area, and they actually make an appointment and go view their metals at the depository, which is awesome. And we're one of the only companies that you can do that. We send pictures and you have access to your metals, which is really cool. And clients love it, right? They love getting, I get calls all the time. We place their trade. A couple weeks later, they get their photos and they call me and they're ecstatic and they love it. And anybody
Well,
local here, they go and make an appointment and go down there and go see me down there. I've been there a few times.
oh, sweet. So the average gold and silver investor, are these more likely people who that have diversified, maybe invested in this, that, and gold and silver? Or do you find a lot of clients just want to say, look, I went from cash, now I want to put all my chips on gold and silver? Or are these
Yes.
people who got enough leeway to play around with different types of investments and hope that one goes down, I got this one?
That's exactly, you know what? I would say it's probably 50-50. I would say I have 50% of people looking just to kind of diversify, get some out of the stock market, get some out of the bonds, out of mutual funds. And then I have, 50% of clients that don't want to have anything to do with the stock market or the dollar and want to have everything in metals. So I'd say it's probably about a 50-50 split for me personally. And
Good
I'm kind
stuff.
of I'm on the latter end of that too. Like I'm not big on the stock market. or bonds or mutual funds or any of that, right? I mean, it's so much easier to own and control your wealth and not have to pay someone a commission every year for managing it, right? I mean, most financial advisors make at least 1% of your entire account value every single year, right? So you do that for 20 years, 30 years, think about how much money you're leaving on the table.
Good point. Well, here we go. At the moment we all been waiting for, everybody want to know what's going on with Fort Knox.
I
Is the
wish I had
gold there?
I wish I had all the answers here, Kevin, is the truth of it. But nobody knows. Uh, Nobody knows for sure how much gold is there. Is it authentic? Has it been borrowed? Has it been lent out? Has it been used? That's one of the problems with the U.S. government is the secrecy, right? I mean, they'll tax you 55%, but God forbid you have a question and want to know where all the money's going, right?
Right.
You're not purview to that information. You just need to be a taxpayer and and be quiet.
Wow. So here's a stat. There's supposed to be what, 147.3 million ounces of gold
That's correct.
there.
That's correct.
So my
Which is an
question
unbelievable amount.
is, I can't even imagine. Like, see, I think our brain is wired to think in dollars, like
Yes.
money. But
Yes.
when you look at 147.3 million ounces of gold, how can you even break that down
It's a
into?
swimming pool full of gold. Imagine if you had a swimming pool, like a backyard swimming pool, and you
Yeah,
filled it up with gold. That's what it would look like.
wow. And that probably would, if you transfer it over to dollars, be trillions, perhaps.
Not at today's prices, right? It will be worth tens of trillions when the price of gold is revalued at its honest price, right? At its real price. But right now, I mean, it's hundreds of billions right now, but I think it's going to be trillions in the future.
Wow. So to conclude, if one wanted to go ahead and reach out to you or Noble
Yes.
Gold, they have questions
Sure.
or they're ready to go ahead and invest,
Yeah.
would they be contacting you, your team, or how would that work?
Yeah, I'm the senior vice president of sales here at Nova Gold, and I actually work in the sales department. So I help run a great group of guys and gals that everybody is qualified and can answer any questions that you have. We have great gold and silver guides that we could send you. You know, we're all about education here at Noble, right? We want to educate all of our clients, the different options they have, the different avenues they have to pursue, and if it seems like a great fit, awesome, right? If it doesn't, at least you were able to figure out what your avenues are and what your choices are and make an informed decision based off that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, just to let you know, I got some stuff, man. Look
Oh
at
yeah,
this
you
one.
got. Let me see
Take America Back.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that. That is awesome.
yeah, this is a beaut. It's a beaut.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Then I got let's see, what is this one? This one right here is Don't Tread on Me.
Yes. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love those.
Yeah, I got that. And then, of course, let me see, the Second Amendment coin. That's gold.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, I don't want nobody breaking in my house.
No,
And I
you got all
also
the
got the
yeah.
wall of shame over here, the wall of pain, just in
Yes.
case they come in there for my gold.
You know what?
But
I got a couple ounces of silver I'm gonna send you. I got some really cool in my safe, some really cool, Patriot design silver coins that I'm gonna send you, Kevin. So we can go over that next time. And I'll have a little
wonderful,
show and tell.
wonderful.
I should have brought some stuff out to show as well.
Now, who does this? I mean, in your company, who actually designs these? These are silver right here.
So yeah, a lot of those are actually made by mints in the United States. So there's a lot of refineries and mints in the United States, and they produce different blank designs. They can, we've made custom ones in the past, and people can make custom ones, and you can really get anything you want made onto a silver or gold coin, which is
Really?
pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Because I
Yeah.
love these designs right here.
I do. Yeah, I do too. I love the Americana ones as well. Like, and when you look at the American Silver Eagles and the Gold Eagles, I mean, they scream Americana, right? You got the Lady Liberty on one side, you have the Eagle on the other side. I mean, these are so cool, right? There's no king or queens. A lot of the gold and silver coins in other countries have a king or queen on it, which I'm not a huge fan of. Right? I like those type of 1 ounce silver rounds, and I like the American Eagles for sure.
Right. But that's good stuff,
My
man.
favorite.
Well, I tell you what, that's all the questions I have. I'm sure at some point I'll probably think of something.
Oh
But
yeah, if you do,
the
just let me
people
know.
in the chat, of course, have been enjoying it. Somebody did suggest that we go digging for gold or silver in the ocean.
Okay, yeah.
But
People do that in Florida, right? I mean, I have a gold coin in my safe right now that was recovered from the USS Central America in 1852. Right? It was a gold coin that sunk in 1850s, and it was recovered in the 80s or 90s by a guy named Mel Fisher. And there was $1 billion at the time of gold and silver coins that were recovered on that shipwreck. And I own several of them, and anybody can own several of them, right? I mean, they're cool pieces of American history. That's USS Central America.
wow.
Yeah,
So when you collect a silver or a gold coin, does that add value to it based on its
huge. Oh
journey?
yeah. Oh, so for example, that's about a $30,000 coin, and it
Wow.
has about $3,000 of gold in it. Just to give you an idea, right? So those coins are not those are not IRA approved, right? Those are something that you need to buy with cash outside of an IRA. But I have a lot of clients that have a lot of very rare coins, real pieces of American history. I mean, any gold coin that you have that's pre 1933, you had to be a rich person to have that back in the day, right? When a candy was a penny, you could get a full meal for 5 cents. If you had a $20 gold piece in your pocket, you were a rich man at that time.
What?
Oh yeah.
Well, I hope I strike gold one day in
Yes,
my
yes,
backyard.
yes. Well, I'm going to send you some of those cool silver coins. I have a few in there that I'm thinking of right now that I'm going to send over to you.
Wonderful. Yep. You should have my address on record.
I do. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, we got it. It's going to go out today.
Wonderful. I love it, man. I appreciate it. As soon as I get it out, I'm going to pump it up and show everybody what came in.
Awesome,
So
Kevin. I love it.
we have to do this again real soon.
Yeah, please, please, anytime. It was an absolute honor to be on here, Kevin. Really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Likewise. I appreciate it. So everybody, y'all heard it. Make sure you go ahead and contact Noble Gold. Okay. You got to diversify, everybody. All right. Do it now because it makes sense. All right. And remember, we're here to make sense out of nonsense, and investing makes sense. So God bless you guys. God bless you, Josh. Look forward to receiving that. I'll be looking in the mail every day now.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Normally
It's
I
coming.
shy away from it because I don't.
Keep an eye
I'm
out
like,
for it.
I
It'll be
don't
here
want
this
no
week.
unexpected bills in there. But now,
No. This will be a good package.
wonderful. Sounds good, man. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
God bless.
Thank you
We'll
for having
talk
me
soon.
on.
Take care.
Okay.